Hey, Mary. Hello, hello. Turn off my volume here. Hello, Marianne. How's everybody doing today? Nice, cool weather out there. I'm very discombobulated. My setup here is all shifted over because I was working on a project before. Got too many things going on the table. Anyways, as you're popping on, say hello. Happy Technique Talk. Hey, Marilyn. Janice. What's going on, ladies? Sharon, hello. I know, I'm loving this weather today. Windows are all open. It'll be good sleeping tonight. All right. Whew. I had to go live and then stop again because my orientation got locked. So sorry if you got wrapped up in that. And now, of course, you know how I feel about this crookedness. So give me just 1 second. All right. 7:03, I'm late. Okay. Hey, Robin. So today we are going to talk about an old technique with some new products. And what I mean by that is, I don't know if you've ever done the ink with coarse salt, but that's what I am showing today. So I am going to show that with all sorts of distress sprays, regular spray stain, oxide, and the mica stains because, well, new ones just came out and I'm mixing them with the old colors and loving it. So what I did was I left this one right here to dry so that you could see what it looks like when it's dry. You have to let it dry. Okay, so this, and I'm going to do one so you can see the whole process, but this is what it needs to look like before you rub the salt off. And you'll see when I show another sample that you can definitely tell when it's still wet because it looks wet under the salt. So I'm gonna say give it a good overnight to dry to get your best results. Hello, Barbara. Okay, so this is the first one that I did, and I can already tell underneath the salt what it's gonna look like. But what I'm going to do here is go ahead now and just rub off the salt. I would do it over my garbage can normally, but I wanted you guys to be able to see. So it's pretty easy. Here's our pile of salt, but look at that pattern that you get left behind from the salt when you put it on the wet spray. And I'm going to next show you the process, but I want to show you a couple examples. I really like this Galaxy one. Absolutely, but it doesn't have to just be a Galaxy. I mean, can you imagine it with some white or gold flecks on there? Yeah, I mean, awesome, right? All right, let me get rid of this salt before I make another mess. Okay, so first I'm going to show you, this was another Galaxy that I did. But this is not a Galaxy. This is using Uncharted Mariner, Saltwater Taffy, and salvaged patina sprays. So look at that. It doesn't have to be Halloween or a Galaxy. It could just be a pretty background. I tape ripped my paper. Don't look at that. We'll cut it to use it. All right, so there is another example. And then I also did it with oxide because I wanted to see, and I knew someone would probably ask me, well, what does it look like with oxide? So this is some fall or Halloween-y colors. It's crackling campfire, carved pumpkin, and fossilized amber. That's what that one is. Yeah, Mary, all those ideas are exactly perfect for all the different things you can do. And then I even used the micas and you still get a really interesting pattern with the micas. This is Harvest Moon, which was from a previous release, Mulled Cider, which is from the new, and Ominous Twilight, which is also from the new release. But aren't they just interesting backgrounds that you can get with that? And then this was just a mop up. I just mopped up some leftover sprays and some leftover salt and let it dry. So even mopping it up gives you some great texture. So this is how easy it is. I'm going to show you. I used Ranger's watercolor paper, Tim's, excuse me, distressed watercolor paper on the smooth side. All right, so you can tell that there's a bumpy side and a smooth side. I like the smooth side. You can tape it down. I was taping it down because I thought it would warp too much and the salt might fall off, but it does. The salt doesn't fall off even when it warps, so you are going to be just fine. I grab a paper towel just in case. I'm having a really klutzy day today, so. Okay, so the first thing you do, and I'm gonna show you the Galaxy because that one is super pretty. So, Picked Raspberry, Prize Ribbon, Villainous Potion, and a little bit of black soot on the edges. All right, but the first thing you want to do is spray some water. All right, and not, don't soak your paper, but give it a couple of good spritzes. You want the paper to be wet. You want the ink to move, and you want it all to be wet so that the salt can absorb the liquid, because that's what leaves the marks. Okay, so we're gonna get some water on there. I always start with the lightest, which in this case is the Picked Raspberry. Then a little bit of Villainous Potion here, not too much, and then some Prize Ribbon, a little bit more water to move it around, and then just on the edges, some black soot. All right, and it's different every single time. I want some more. And because we used a good amount of water, we've got plenty of time. So then all you do is take your salt and very carefully place it, because I'm very careful. And then you just sprinkle it on. You can already see where the salt is absorbing the liquid. Okay? Now, this, even though you're going to want to dry it with your heat tool, don't put it aside. I would use my flour sack cloth, but there's salt all over the ink here, so, and I would normally mop it up with another piece of paper, but for the demo, I'm not. All right. Okay. I didn't try this before, but I am going to try mixing oxide and regular spray. See what happens. So let's do Salvage Patina, saltwater taffy, fossilized amber oxide, and crackling campfire oxide. Okay? Okay, some water down here. Now I am just going to do it my normal way. Start with the lightest. That was an oxide. That's a regular spray. This Salvage Patina, also a regular distress. And another oxide here. All right. And then just another spritz of water just to get things moving. Mary's asking, could you use a heat gun to speed up the dry time? Yes. I don't know. I think you would get the same results. I did use a heat gun to set it a little bit, but it really takes a lot of time to dry because underneath the salt, where all that liquid is gathering, you would still even be using your heat gun for a while. So I'll show you. Actually, let's do it on this one because you'll see it better because it's darker. Give me 1 second, and you can see that the ink around where the salt is dry, but see how where the salt is, there's still a lot of liquid. It just really takes a long time to dry, and you don't want to wipe it off before it's dry because you will ruin the effect. It won't give you the same pattern. The wick, you know, I guess Tim always says it wicks. That's what the salt is doing. It's absorbing the moisture and pulling it away. Mary, I am using coarse kosher salt. Now, I was reading an article about this, and someone was telling me that you do get different results with different kinds of salt. So if you use pink Himalayan salt, or if you use black Hawaiian salt, or all the different kinds of salts, you do get different results. I only had the coarse kosher salt down here from another project that I did. So that is what I used. But I would love to see if anybody tries any other salt. Now, when this one that is the mix of the oxide and the distress ink dries by tomorrow or whatever, I will post it so you guys can see if there's any difference in it. But you can kind of tell a difference in the oxide compared to the regular distress because you see where it's oxidized in some spots. Robin's asking, can you reuse the salt? Just remember that the color that is absorbed in the salt that you reuse will be transferred to whatever you reuse it on. So if you took the salt from this one and put the salt on this one, you would get dark marks, which you might want and which might absolutely be cool. But keep that in mind if that is or is not what you're looking for. Because everything is reactive, or these particular sprays are always reactive when they get wet again, whether they're sucked up in salt or not. Okay, well, that is today's demo. Super fun, right? Super fun, super easy, very interesting. You get some really great results. Yeah, I'm going to use this background. I'm going to splatter some of the, I got this. Did you see this in the store? This is a tub of gold watercolor. It's a big one because this is perfect for splattering. Comes from Japan. We do have some in the store. It's in a little porcelain pot. So I am going to use that to splatter some moons and stars on my backgrounds. Okay, does anybody else have any questions? All right, while you're thinking, oh wait, Kim is asking. In the, yeah, Kim, you do. Kim's asking, do you wipe the salt off after it dries? Yes. And if you catch the replay, I talk a little bit about how important it is to make sure that it's dry, all the way dry, before you wipe it off. Okay, Oh, I was going to say, while you're thinking of any questions, don't forget we posted a few new things. The Sweet Gnome class is up. That's in September. I think it's the 23rd. The Michigan Memory Decks project is coming up in September also. It's a fun Rolodex style memory keeping product. And for all of you that were interested in going to Crop on the Cape, we did get it together, and we have the trip for next March available on the website to sign up and put your deposit down. We have to get 40 people signed up by September 21st in order to actually make the trip. So if you're interested, don't wait too long. All right, I don't see any other questions, so I will say thank you for joining me. Enjoy this nice, cool weather. Stay dry. And we'll see you in the store soon.